William Edward Burghardt DuBois was born in 1868 and was the son of a mixed-race man and African-American woman. Because of the racial background of his parents, DuBois was able to attend an all-white school where he got along with his white teachers and peers. It wasn't until he attended Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee, that he first experienced racism and the effects of the Jim Crow laws.
After spending 3 years at Fisk, DuBois transfers to Harvard University. He stays on to complete his PhD in social sciences. He would be the first black man to earn such a degree in the U.S. He begins to share ideas about the social status of blacks with other African-American academics and professionals. On July 11, 1905, DuBois and a handful of other black professionals and intellectuals decide to call a meeting to solidify goals for the improvement of African Americans' lives. The assembly would call itself the Niagara Movement, named for the place where the group was forced to meet.
The movement begins not on the territory of the United States, but on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls, because the hotel that DuBois had booked for this first meeting refused to serve people of color.
A violent two-day race riot in Springfield, Illinois drove thousands of African Americans from the city and resulted in the destruction of many minority-owned businesses. This incident proved more poignant as Springfield was the birthplace of civil rights leader Abraham Lincoln. On February 12, 1909, the National Negro Committee was founded to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. A year later, they became the NAACP. The association's main goal was to ensure the rights and equality of all United States citizens, as promised by the 13th, 14th, and 15th constitutional amendments. These ideals were publicized in the magazine The Crisis, which was founded by DuBois in 1910. The NAACP became famous for working within the court system to battle existing separate but equal Jim Crow laws, which legally allowed racially based segregation. This was epitomized in 1913 when the group took on President
Jim Crow laws. These laws and customs stated that it was constitutional to give blacks separate but equal treatment. The problem was the equal part was seldom identical to the whites' privileges.
This was epitomized in 1913 when the group took on President Woodrow Wilson for his introduction of such laws. Another of the group's
The silent film The Birth of a Nation, an incredibly racist American film, which included stereotypical portrayals of African Americans and the glorification of the Ku Klux Klan, first came to theaters during the peak of cinematography's popularity. In response to this popular film, the NAACP protested and succeeded in limiting its release. This huge success caused the NAACP to gain many members. Between the years 1917 and 1919, the NAACP went from 9,000 to 90,000 members.
The NAACP spent the next years fighting against lynching. While anti-lynching legislation failed to pass through the Senate due to Southern white Democrats, the NAACP did manage to reduce the number of lynchings that occurred. The NAACP was inspired by the ongoing Great Depression to battle for economic equality between the races. However, desegregation remained the group's primary goal. During the Civil Rights era of the 1950s, important progress was made. Civil Rights Acts passed in 1957, 64, and 68, and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 officially banned prejudiced voting systems. With this central mission accomplished, the NAACP expanded its efforts and continued fighting lingering signs of discrimination. Though they struggled in
I am the largest,
the oldest.
I am the baddest,
the boldest.
I am protecting our voting rights
and our environment.
I am ending racial profiling
and fighting HIV/AIDS.
I am advancing economic equality
and equality
for all.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am NAACP. Are you?